You are absolutely right when you say that feeling is at the basis of thinking. No? Feeling is certainly much finer than the level of the mind. Again, I am reminded of some Vedic hymns. Which describe that it's a very beautiful thing. And describe, and that all this teaching we verify on the basis of our everyday life. It's so simple, yet so beautiful and so elevating, and because it's just the truth of existence. They say all that the senses perceive around, all that is based on the senses on the mind on the emotions, or say feeling, or whatever we call it, heart, or whatever. Hriday is the word in Sanskrit. Now, that feeling on mine, my body, my house, mine, on that mine. Mine is based on Amritam. It's a very sweet word in Sanskrit. Amritam is immortality. And immortality based on Brahmani, on Brahman, the absolute. In order to make a distinction between immortality and Brahman in this context, we will say Amness. Amness is the basis of myness. My based on am, and am based on isness. Isness. Isness is universal existence. Myness is individual existence. Individual existence. But the word in the hymn is Amritam. That's immortality. The level of amness, is immortality. Immortal level of life. Now, immortal is also isness, universality. The universe is. I am. On the basis of amness, myness. On the basis of my existence, the feeling, some feeling, my existence is secured when my mother is at home. This is what a child feels. Mother is at home and he just doesn't bother for anything. His individuality is secured. He feels in freedom. Nothing can touch him. Mother is at home. On that basis of feeling, here is your question. On that basis of feeling is all the display of creative intelligence of the child. His thinking, running about, action and everything on that basis of feeling. Mother is at home. Now if the feeling changes, mother is not at home, it's terrible. All his thinking, all his action gets a different shape, gets a different color altogether. There is fear, there is inhibitions, there is lack of freedom, there is everything. Completely contrast. If the mother is at home, a different thing. Mother not at home, a different thing. So that feeling is very important. It is this feeling that is the basis of thinking. If you are going to meet a friend and someone says, oh, you are going to meet a good man, he comes from a good family, really educated and well behaved. That feeling is there. On the basis of that feeling, right from the moment you see him, the whole thing is cordial and loving and very rewarding. If the man says, be careful, he doesn't come from a good family, the record is very bad, that feeling is ingrained. And when you see him, you are careful. When you start talking to him right from the beginning, the whole behavior is shadowed as if. This is what makes us see that the level of feeling is the basis of level of thinking, and on that is all behavior and everything. Now, the feeling is for what? Be careful, the man is not good. Then myness is not secured. Myness is in danger in contacting a man who is not from a good field of education or family or what. My is in danger. Or if the man is good and fine, myness is secured. My relationship, my is secured. So it is for the sake of myness that the feeling is based on myness. If mother is at home, my existence is safe. And my existence is for what? For me, for I. Now, these are more fine levels of the conscious mind. More fine levels of the conscious mind. Thinking based on feeling, feeling based on that security of my security. My security is for me. So I is in danger. I. But the basis of I is, the basis of am is, the universe is, I am. Individuality, universality. So is at the basis of all, and then we say this is ultimate reality, transcendental reality. It transcends the individuality, but it is a reality. Isness, Brahman. This is Brahman, the totality, as contrasting with individuality. And this individuality is immortal. We know even from our own experience, my body was changing 5 years age, 10 years age, 20 years age, 40 years age, 80 years age. My body has been changing, but I had been continuing. The continuity of I makes I on the level of immortality. I, immortality. But there is yet another phase of immortality, which is isness, universality. Both these belong to the phase of immortality. Amness, immortality. Isness, immortality. Both are immortality. But amness is closer to me because it's my own. Isness is beyond me, beyond me. But when I have fully started to live myself, then I know that myself is that isness. It's an experience in unity. Myself is that isness, and that is Brahman. And I am Brahman, I am that, and thou art that, and all this is that. Because that alone is omnipresent, present in all these different levels of existence, on the level of immortality of I, and on the level of mind, on the level of feeling, on the level of thinking, action. On all these different levels, isness is pervading. So isness is the ultimate reality. And when the I has cognized that I am that isness, amness is that isness, then the ultimate reality becomes a living reality of day-to-day life. So in this consideration, what we find is so many levels of consciousness. Thinking level of consciousness, we say conscious level of the mind, conscious level of the mind. Deep within that, the child is running about and this and this. Deep within him, deep within his mind is that information. Mother is at home. Mother is at home is certainly deep within himself, but it is within the comprehension of conscious mind. Conscious mind. Because when the information comes, mother is not at home, immediately the grosser level of the conscious mind changes the pattern. Obviously, these two levels, thinking and feeling, both are on the conscious level, both are within the range of the conscious mind. So what we find is, there are two levels of conscious mind. One thinking or acting, the other feelings. Two levels of conscious mind. One at the basis of the other. Now, there is yet but more clouded level of conscious mind, and that is my security. Certainly, mother is at home, brings a good feeling just because I feel free. My freedom, my security. So, this myness is within the conscious mind, but this myness is not so obvious as this feeling mother is at home. This feeling mother is at home is not so obvious as thinking and action on the surface of the mind. So we have very surface level of the conscious mind in thinking and action, deeper level of the conscious mind, more refined level of the conscious mind, or we say less active level of the conscious mind in that mother at home. Finer than that, less active level, even lesser active level of the conscious mind is my security. And my security is for me, I. But that I is still more refined on the conscious level. It is true, when we analyze this, logically we find, oh yes, if I am in danger, then mind is in danger, then feeling is in danger, and then thinking is different. But obviously, no one remembers me or anything, I. What one remembers is the flower, this. But the I is in this analysis certainly hidden deep within the activity of the conscious mind. I. Still one more level of isness, which is still more shadowed or clouded or unclear, but there is that level of isness. My individuality on the basis of universal existence, all life in the cosmos, on that basis of all life, my life. So, when we analyze like that, we find one layer of life underneath the other, but commonly acting in the world, we have these 2, 3, 4 levels more widely open to our conscious mind. Thinking and feeling and myness. And certainly myness is on the basis of amness. Amness is certainly on the basis of isness. So these are the different levels of the conscious mind. Some more vivid, some more dormant. In this analysis, we have all the levels of consciousness. Transcendental meditation takes our awareness from the grossest level of thinking through all these various levels of feeling and myness and I-ness, and it comes to isness, and there it stops. And stopping there, coming out, it brings out the value of this isness into all these feelings of myness and amness and myness and feeling and thinking. So those dormant values of the conscious mind come to our conscious attention, and this is what we call integration, process of integration of life. The deeper, more dormant, more hidden values of the mind come to support more vividly all the values of the active mind on the surface of the conscious mind. And this is what we say unfoldment of the inner potential. The thing is there. These finer values of the mind are one within the other, one within the other. And seeing in this fashion, we see the whole philosophy of life on the basis of the analysis of our everyday experience. Everyday experience. Thinking mind having as its basis the feeling, and feeling having as its basis the myness, and myness having its basis in the I, and I having its basis in the isness, the totality of the universal life. Only as long as we are not aware of this immortal value of life, so long we are being tossed about by only these changing values of the surface of conscious mind, and not being consciously aware of the immortality, even though it is there underneath, but not being consciously aware of the immortal phase of life. We are just a football in the hands of what we call destiny. Something which we have done some time before, the thought comes and we are tossed about and fall here and kicked from here, and then we are here, and kicked from here, we are there, and we are there. The whole life is just a football at the feet of at the kicks of all our own doings, like that. And the moment we open our awareness, the moment the thinking mind, the active mind, reaches consciously this level of immortality, myness, isness, there is that fullness of life. And this fullness of life comes to be lived in the field of activity. And this is integration of life. Integration means putting together, bringing one and one as two together. This value of transcendental meditation is to reveal all the areas of life which we are already living, only we are not aware of them all. We are not aware of them all, and that is why this ignorance of the more precious more abundant, more affluent value of life makes us miserable. This ignorance of that. So, in order to be knowledgeable about everything, we take our mind from gross thinking level to the subtle thinking level. The gross activity of the mind starts to become less and 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 less, comes to that standstill, which is the value of isness. And in this, all the levels of the mind have been comprehended by the conscious mind. And when the most hidden, the deepest, that stillness, that value of the mind opens to our conscious awareness, then we start to live that value. And when we start to live that value, it is the value of immortality, infinity, abundance of life, unboundedness. And this is what the TM accomplishes, one after the other. In this analysis, we see how clearly the whole philosophy of life opens to our knowledge in such a simple manner, only by giving the activity of the conscious mind, the gross activity of the conscious mind, the value of those subtle impulses at which are these different levels of feeling and my and am and isness. And we want that isness, that unboundedness, to become an all-time feature of the thinking mind, so that eternal freedom, infinite affluence, all abundance, that becomes a spontaneous living reality to us. And for that, we keep on opening our awareness to that and to this and to that and to this, and thereby we are making the mind conversant with that silent value of the conscious mind. The silent value of the conscious mind is certainly within the active value of the conscious mind. The ability to be silent is contained in the ability to be active. The active mind has within it the ability of the silence. The ability is there, only one has not comprehended that, one has not realized that, one has not experienced that. And once one has experienced that, it becomes possible that the silence is not lost even when we are active. When we are active and when we are silent, then we say life is integrated. Then we say life is balanced. Balance between activity and silence. Eternal activity. Eternally the change could go on, but the immortality will continue to be lived. This is the reason why we want, for our safety, we want that isness, that unboundedness, infinity should be open to our awareness. And for that we meditate. And when that affluence has come to our conscious mind, when that balance has been gained, then we will not be tossed about by things here and there and there and there. Then we will have fullness of life at all times. This will be full development of life, using full value of life all the time. So, even though all these different levels exist within the conscious mind, but as long as all of them do not open to the obvious conscious mind, we fail to live full value of life. So this transcendental meditation accomplishes that infinite security, brings that eternal freedom, takes the life to that level of affluence by opening all these more silent levels of the mind to the conscious mind. It's a very good question.